The subject of this folk song is the 1896 murder of 22-year-old Pearl Bryan. Bryan, who was 7 months pregnant at the time, was found decapitated in a field near Cincinnati. While it's largely forgotten today, at the time the murder sparked nationwide fascination and was dubbed the crime of the century.
That poor Pearl Bryan was dead, killed by Wallen and Jackson, and they took away her head.
And it's thought that she was decapitated to make identification more difficult. This is the farm.
For 2 years, YSU photography professor Stephen Chalmers has been researching and photographing artifacts and locations that are relevant to the Pearl Bryan story, and the work is garnering international recognition. The work is featured in this month's issue of Stern Crime magazine in Germany and is a semi-finalist in the Print Center's annual international competition in Philadelphia.
And that's the current location, which is now a housing project.
Much of the work couples contemporary locations or objects with their late 19th century counterparts, such as this artist's rendering of the crime and this photo of the site today.
The scene of the crime was overrun by tourists who would collect leaves from the site.
Chalmers' interest in the murder began when he heard the folk song Pearl Bryan, which over the years has been sung by dozens of artists.
The woman named Pearl Bryan, she grew up in Greencastle, Indiana, which is fairly close to Indianapolis. She met a man and they,
From the home she loved so.
When she realized that she was pregnant, she traveled to Cincinnati, where he was a dental student at the time. I believe she thought that he was going to marry her, and I think he intended to abort the baby. A fight ensued at the train station, according to some witnesses, and then 3 days later, she was found murdered in northern Kentucky on February 1st, 1896.
Pearl Bryan lies forgotten, where the merry sunbeams play.
Scott Jackson and his friend Alonzo Walling were later arrested and charged with the murder.
They were both hung. He's distributed tickets to the hanging as well.
The work was done with the support of a YSU University Research Council grant and Summer Faculty Innovation Grant from the YSU Cliff College of Creative Arts and Communications.
With a lot of my work, it's about photographing the ultimately non-photographable. I'm photographing this site where in the media it would normally be represented as, with police tape and investigators scouring, and a corpse with a sheet over it, and I'm photographing it as a pristine, beautiful landscape. So I like that duality and that tension between these kind of like cold and sterile images of where something, by contemporary standards, horrific happened.
Pearl Bryan's dead, can't find her head, Wallen and Jackson's home.
You can view Chalmers' work at his website, askewview.com.
We're celebrating 95 years.
Sweeney Chevrolet Buick GMC has been proudly serving our community since 1921.
Sweet.